There's no backup friends or rainbow magic to save you now.
My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic has many villains, and today we're heading into Canterlot Court to determine which of these villains learned their lesson about friendship, and which villains should be turned to stone for eternity. I'm Judge Keefinosi with Wicked Binge, and this is sentencing My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic villains for their crimes. Before we start court today, let's go over some rules. Since there are many different villains in the show, we won't be able to go through all of them. We're not going to include villains from the Equestria Girls series and the MLP Friendship is Magic movie. Since many villains are reformed, we'll do our best to factor that in. That said, court is now in session. Let's begin with the first ever villain that kicked off the series, Nightmare Moon. Nightmare Moon brought the main six together when the series first started. When she was released from her 1,000-year imprisonment on the moon, she imprisoned her sister, Princess Celestia, on the moon and threatened to have Equestria endure nighttime for eternity. She assaulted the main six throughout their journey to the castle of the two sisters to get the elements of harmony. She caused a landslide off a cliff and used a manticore to attack them by turning into a thorn. Overall, Nightmare Moon has a lot of charges against her. However, we'll be cutting her some slack since after she was defeated, she turned back into Princess Luna and apologized to her sister for the terrible things she did. So we feel comfortable giving Nightmare Moon 10 years in prison with parole. Next up will be the first reformed villain of the series, the Griffin Gilda. Gilda was introduced in season 1 as one of Rainbow Dash's friends who used to hang out with her. However, it was soon revealed that Gilda was not a good friend. She stole an apple from Granny Smith by pretending her tail was a rattlesnake, and she shouted at Fluttershy for helping ducklings and their mother cross the road.
I'm sorry. Why don't you just watch where you're going, doofus?
She harassed Pinkie Pie for pranking her several times, and she eventually took off when Rainbow Dash saw her true colors and told her to leave. Later in season 5, she returned in the episode The Lost Treasure of Griffinstone, where she made amends with Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash, and they remained true friends evermore. For Gilda's sentence, we feel community service is appropriate for her. Next up on the stand will be the wannabe magician Trixie Lulamoon. Trixie was a magician and a braggart. In her debut episode, Boast Busters, she bragged about being able to defeat an Ursa Major. When they heard her boast, two little fillies, Snips and Snail, brought forth what they thought was an Ursa Major, actually an Ursa Minor, to prove her abilities. It was then revealed that everything Trixie said was a lie.
I can't. I never have.
As it turned out, she couldn't even handle the Ursa Minor and thus endangered the town. In the season 3 episode, Magic Duel, she returns with a powerful amulet and wreaks havoc in Ponyville. She defeats Twilight in a magic duel, banishing her to the Everfree Forest and enslaving the entire town. Giving them hard labor, she abuses and neglects everyone in town, especially Snips and Snail. After Twilight fools Trixie into giving up the amulet, she apologizes for what she's done, but then holds a grudge against her in later seasons. Overall, for these crimes, we'll be giving Trixie 20 years in prison, but with the chance at parole at some point. Next up will be the master of chaos himself, Discord. Discord's committed quite a few crimes. He was introduced while breaking free of his stone prison. He immediately went about fomenting chaos. He stole the elements of harmony and hid them so the main six wouldn't turn him back to stone. Using mind control, he caused the main six to behave against their nature. He threatened to turn the entire world into chaos, attempting to make Ponyville the chaos capital of the world. He also damaged many properties in Equestria. In season 9, wanting to be helpful, he impersonated Grogar so that he could prepare Twilight to become ruler of Equestria. While he decided to change his ways, he is charged with treason for working with Lord TRex and betraying the ponies in season 4. While he still has a lot of work to do, we'll be giving Discord 50 more years of being stoned to fully account for his crimes. Next up will be the twin brothers Flim and Flam. The Flim and Flam brothers are best known for their scams and swindling. There have been several instances where they've tried to scam for money. In their debut episode, the Super Creedy Cider Squeezy 6000, they provoked the Apple family into doing a cider race challenge, only for them to lose because of the quality of the drink. In season 4, they scammed ponies with injuries, offering an elixir that would supposedly cure them. Applejack eventually discovered the trick and confronted Flim and Flam to get at the truth.
But let's say that it's true.
They discreetly disclosed that it was just a mixture of apple juice and beet leaves. Later, Applejack shared this with the ponies after Granny Smith attempted to do a dangerous stunt. In season 8, they started up Friendship University with promises to teach friendship lessons in half the time as Twilight's school, only for it to be revealed that it was just another scam to fund money for their resort. For these crimes, we'll be giving Flim and Flam 5 years imprisonment without parole, as they never learned their lesson and were always inventing another scam. Next on the stand will be the former queen of the changelings, Queen Chrysalis. Queen Chrysalis was one of the main villains for MLP. She's committed several crimes against all of Equestria. At the end of season 2, she imprisoned Princess Cadence and impersonated her to steal Shining Armor's love for power. Her changeling army attacked everyone in Canterlot, so war crimes are another of her offenses. At the end of season 6, she kidnapped all the princesses and other creatures of of power and replaced them with her army. It was proven that she cared very little for her army and only wanted to magnify her own power.
Every pony will do as I command.
After Starlight Glimmer showed the changelings that they could share their love, they dethroned Chrysalis from her place as queen, and Chrysalis went on the lam. While she was turned to stone in the series finale, we feel that all these crimes deserve a harsher sentence, which in this case will be the death penalty. We know it's a kid's show, but a harsh sentence is needed here. Next up will be the tyrant King Sombra. This tyrant has committed many crimes throughout the series. In his debut in season 3, he enslaved the Crystal Empire and threatened to take over Equestria. After returning from banishment 1,000 years later, he threatened to take back the Crystal Empire, attacking everyone who got in his way.
And I will destroy any pony who gets in my way!
While in the end he was defeated, it doesn't excuse the assault and abuse of the Crystal Ponies. He returned in season 9 and destroyed the tree and elements of harmony to dissipate the powers of the main 6. He continued to brainwash everyone into being his slaves and took over all the other cities. He was defeated in the end after Discord made the main 6 realize that they still had the power of the elements inside them. Overall, for all of his crimes, King Sombra has definitely earned himself the death penalty and the banishment of his soul for eternity. Next up on the stand will be Lightning Dust. Lightning Dust was an academy student with a rainbow dash for the Wonderbolts. However, it was proven that she had little regard for safety and was quite reckless. During her time in the academy, she ignored Rainbow's injury, pushed off all other classmates during a race, and created a tornado that seriously endangered her friends. She returned in season 8 where she founded the Washouts, a team of ex-Wonderbolts that would do more death-defying stunts. When the young filly Scootaloo became a temporary member, it was revealed that Lightning Dust didn't care if she got hurt during a stunt. For these crimes, we'll be giving Lightning 15 years in prison for recklessness and callous disregard for the safety of other ponies. Next will be the power-hungry Lord TRex. Lord TRex is a centaur that has the ability to absorb ponies' magic. In his debut episode in the season 4 finale, he stole ponies' magic to become stronger. He convinced Discord to team up with him and persisted in stealing more magic. He went on stealing magic in every major city, so we can add assault to his crimes. In the series finale, he helped his allies steal even more magic and imprisoned everyone of power except for Twilight. Though he was turned to stone in the end, we can't help but wonder if being turned to stone with his villainous allies is really a proper sentence for him, and in the end, we agree, yes, he should be sentenced to serve as a statue of stone for eternity. Next up will be Starlight Glimmer. Starlight Glimmer was introduced in season 5, the founder of the village Our Town. She covered her cutie mark and placed an equal sign made of makeup over it, then went about replacing the village ponies' cutie marks with equal signs. When she was exposed for this, it was revealed that she'd been manipulating ponies, persuading them to be equal. She ascribed powers to a wooden staff to hide her use of magic while she was secretly stealing cutie marks. Had her followers not turned against her, she would have escaped with the main 6 cutie marks. In the season 5 finale, she used a time spell created by Star Swirl the Bearded to destroy the timeline of the main 6, becoming their friends to get back at Twilight for ruining her plans.
You and your friends will never form your special cutie mark bond.
Inadvertently, she created many alternate timelines. Though Twilight was able to help her see the error of her ways and Starlight became a hero, it doesn't really excuse her for the crimes she committed. After it was proven how good she can be, however, we'll cut her some slack and sentence her to 2 years of community service. Next up will be Stygian, otherwise known as the Pony of Shadows. The Pony of Shadows is a good ghost story told by ponies. However, in the season 7 finale, Stygian, Pony of Shadows, was revealed to be a real historical figure. He was originally a young cult that banded together the pillars of old Equestria to fight a great evil, the Dazzlings. While trying to copy the ancient artifacts to use against them, the pillars banished him. Believing it to be an act of theft, he became resentful, turning to darkness for revenge and transformed into the Pony of Shadows.
Without the power of Bonehenge, your banishing spell is useless.
While it certainly wasn't good that he tried to copy ancient artifacts and turned into a monster to destroy Equestria, he began with good intentions. So I think 2 months of community service would be a proper sentence for him. Next up will be the head of the Equestrian Education Association, or EEA, Chancellor Naysay. Chancellor Naysay was the head of the EEA and oversaw all the schools in Equestria. In season 8, he approved Twilight's school under the condition that she follow the book. However, it was proven that he heavily discriminated against non-pony creatures.
Dangerous creatures who don't have our best interests at heart.
He almost started a war between all creatures because of this, and Twilight stood up against him with Princess Celestia. Twilight was able to keep her school in the end, fortunately. In the season 8 finale, after he was betrayed by Cozy Glow, Naysay realized he was wrong-headed and apologized to all creatures, so we feel comfortable giving him a month of community service. Our final villain on the stand will be the adorable, but dangerous, Cozy Glow. Cozy Glow was introduced in season 8 as a student in Twilight's school. In the season 8 finale, however, she was revealed to be anything but nice. She manipulated the main 6, Naysay, and the students to do her bidding, captured Starlight, and almost destroyed all the magic in Equestria so she could take over. In the series finale, she stole enough magic to become become an alicorn and fought in the final battle with Chrysalis and TRex.
Fools! Now I have more power than all of you!
While she was turned to stone in the end, along with Chrysalis and TRex, do we feel like Cozy Glow deserves a harsher sentence? Actually, no, we feel her sentence of becoming stone for eternity is a proper sentence for her. At least she'll be with TRex to write it out.